about DTF printer maintenance. I know it sounds kind of intimidating, but I promise it's not. I'm going to walk you from start to finish, that way you can feel confident with your DTF printer's maintenance. I've actually been using DTF printers for almost 2 years now, and I've learned so much during that time. I even had my DTF Pro get clogged while I was on maternity leave because I was not keeping up with the maintenance. But because of that experience, I learned so much, and I really want to share it with you. DTF printers are a huge investment, so it's really important to keep up with the maintenance so that we don't have any issues. Okay, let's get right into it. How much maintenance does the printer actually need? If you're just getting started, you might not know how much you're going to be printing, so I honestly just recommend doing it daily.
Okay, so we are in the ProRip software, and we're going to go ahead and run a cleaning. So here is the cleaning button, cleaning nozzle. We're going to click it. We're going to hit yes.
So when our printer is cleaning, you'll see here, this button is going to start flashing. So the blue lights are going to flash, and that means that it's cleaning. Once it's done, that light will be solid. But can you guys hear that? It's cleaning right now. And then on the inside, we can actually see over here when it cleans. So the cleaning does take a few minutes to finish. While we wait for that, let's talk about why white ink clogs the most. The white ink is thicker than all the other colors, so it settles faster, especially if the printer isn't printing or circulating the ink. Thankfully though, with the K13, they have a few new features. The K13 actually comes with auto circulation, which is a huge upgrade. The reason being is because it helps reduce clogs in the white ink. So basically what it does is it circulates. I'm gonna try to get a clip so that you can see what I'm talking about. Keep in mind though, just because it does circulate its own white ink, you should still be doing your part and keeping up with maintenance.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and run a nozzle check. So here at the top left, we're going to click this button, and we are going to hit yes.
So now it's going to go ahead and print our nozzle check. Honestly, at the beginning, I just feel like it's better to be overly cautious, especially because the white clog inks, and these printers are not cheap, you guys. These are huge investments, so we want to do as much as possible to keep our colors happy. Okay, so we're just going to pull out our print. And here we are. You can see that all our lines are present, which means there are no issues with our color. I like to run a nozzle check every single time before I print because there is absolutely nothing worse than sending out a large transfer and finding out that your colors are off and having to reprint it. And if you are missing any lines on your nozzle check, you'll want to run a second cleaning. And if you don't plan to print any transfers on your printer for that day, I still recommend printing. I'll have my free DTF printing purge sheets in the description. That way you can use them as well. Let's open up the software so I can walk you through what you need to do.
Okay, so head over to my website, craftycatty.com, and then head over to files. If you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up here to get the password. If you're already signed up and have the password, we can go straight to all files. And here I am going to add in the password. And this is going to give you access to all my files, not just my purge sheets, but also my spooky season files and a few other files that I have. So let's go ahead and download the DTF purge sheets that are right here. Okay, so after we have our DTF purge sheet, we can go ahead and open the ProRip software. So we're going to double click it. We're going to hit yes. And this is what the ProRip software looks like when it's starting up. Okay, so see this little button right here with the image and the plus sign? That's how we add in our files. So we'll select our purge sheet. We will open it up. And this is what our purge sheet is going to look like. If you want it to be bigger, we can make it bigger. I just want to do 11.5. That should resize it to 11.5. We are going to hit this rip button, and then we will send it to print. And that's pretty much all you need to do on the software end.
Okay, so here goes our purge sheet. So again, if you won't be printing any transfers that day, I do recommend just printing a purge sheet like we are doing now. I'll be sure to add the link for the purge sheet in the description so that you can use it if you need one. So after this finishes printing, I'll go ahead and I'll cover the basic maintenance schedule that I recommend for beginners. Okay, so here is our print. Ooh, and it looks like I had some ink spill, which is perfect timing because we're going to do maintenance. But here is our purge sheet. Daily maintenance, let's go. You're always going to want to run a nozzle check before you print. And if any of the lines are missing, go ahead and run another head cleaning, but just be sure not to overdo it because head cleanings do waste ink. Daily, you're also going to want to shake your white ink. Of course, don't overdo it because if you do, you will get bubbles and we do not want bubbles. That's just more trouble. Go ahead and shake it so that the ink that has settled at the bottom can move around. That's usually what causes clogging. Okay, we can put this back. And again, print a small white image or a purge file if you're not printing anything that day. I'll have my DTF purge sheets link in the description if you want to check those out. Now, every few days, we're actually going to clean the inside of the machine. Okay, so here are the supplies we're going to use. We're going to need some of these swabs. They're cleaning swabs. We're going to be using the Sandel printhead cleaning solution. This is what it looks like. Some people like to use warm water, others like to use rubbing alcohol. I like to do the printhead cleaning solution. I'll have this one linked for you guys. And then we're going to need some lint-free cloths to clean up a bit. Next, we are going to move this all the way to the middle. And once we have it in the middle, we'll shut off the printer from the back. So now it's off. Now that we've turned off the machine, we can actually move this freely. So let's start by cleaning the bottom of the plate because it is so dirty. So I poured some cleaning solution on this little lint-free cloth. And we are just going to rub it until all of those ink stains come out. Okay, much better, all gone. Next, what we're gonna do is this little belt right here can also pick up lint. So we are just with the same cloth. So we are just gonna go ahead and clean it to make sure there's nothing stuck in there. That way everything continues to run smoothly. Now we'll move this back to the middle and clean this with cotton swabs. So I have my tools here because we need to remove this little plate right here. So that way we can actually get a little closer to the print head down there. Now we're just going to grab our swab and our cleaning solution and we are going to pour a little bit of solution on our swab. We obviously don't want it to be soaking wet, but we want to make sure there's enough solution in there. You see that gray area? That's our actual print head. You do not want to swab that. So you'll want to swab on the sides. So what you want to do is kind of lift. You see how that lifted a bit? We're going to lift it a bit and then we're going to try to get in there as close to the sides without touching the actual print head. And as I mentioned, when you're a beginner, I recommend doing this once a week, but of course, as you use it more often and as you clean it, you'll kind of be able to see like how much dirtier it gets depending on how many prints you have. So as you get a little more comfortable with your printer, you can decide how often you actually want to go in and do this. Okay, I grabbed another one and we're going to do this side. And as you can see, this side is not as dirty as the other side. So as I mentioned, depending on how often you use it, the required maintenance will also be changing. So just keep that in mind that this is just a recommended place to start when you're a beginner. Ooh, this right side is so dirty. Let's keep cleaning. Next, I'm going to grab another cotton swab and I'm going to add some cleaning solution. And now we are going to go ahead and clean the capping station. That's this little silver part right here. It had some little red ink dried up. That's what that was. So we're just going to go ahead and clean it. As you use it more often though, like with my DTF Pro, I do actually just grab the liquid and pour it on top of here. And I kind of let it sit overnight. This one I haven't printed too much, so it's not too dirty. So I'm not going to let it sit. We do want to make sure it's clean. Then we'll just clean the sides. You see here, it's like, ooh. Let me grab another one. So see, as you're printing, ink kind of goes everywhere. So you really want to keep this clean because if any ink dries here, it'll kind of stop from flowing through. And then that's when you get like clogs. So you also want to clean the sides in case you have any ink there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just pour in some solution right in here. That way it could soak. I'm going to leave it there for a few seconds, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Just know that depending on how much buildup there is in there, you may want to leave it sitting there longer. For example, on my DTF Pro, on the white ink cap, I leave that one soaking overnight if I'm doing a lot of jobs. Now for the messy part. For this part, you are going to want to grab a cloth that you do not mind stained. As you can see, mine has a ton of stains, so we're just going to lay it here. We are going to place it anywhere where ink can fall. That way we don't get any stains. We're going to open this lid. And now we're actually going to pull the cleaning solution that we just placed on the capping station through the waste ink tank. So for this part, I have a cloth that you don't mind getting dirty, gloves, and a syringe. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gloves. You don't need gloves, you can do fine without them, but sometimes it gets messy and I've stained my fingers so bad that I just always use the gloves now because I am paranoid. So what we are going to do is we are going to pull the waste ink tube, and I'd like to just wipe it down so I don't make a mess in my hands. We're just gonna pull the cleaning solution that is sitting in the capping station, so you'll see it because it's blue. So we're just gonna hold it here until it comes down. See, it's coming slowly. Sometimes the color changes depending on what ink is there too. See it flowing slowly. Let me just pull it again. Pouring back in. Okay, and this waste ink is about half full. I do like to clear it any time that I am doing maintenance, so I'm just gonna pour this into an old cup so we can dispose of this later. The reason why I like doing this is because you don't want this spilling all over your floor, your craft table, wherever your printer is. So I just like to take it out every now and then. So we're all good here, so I'm just going to close it up. And this is why you want to wear gloves, because you will be covered in ink. And see, I just covered my entire door with ink, so let me just clean that with the cleaning solution. Much better. All pink now. And that's it. That's all for weekly cleanings. I normally do my weekly cleanings when I'm done printing for the week. Now we can go ahead and either print a purge sheet or a test print, completely up to you. Another thing, I like to keep the printer on 24/7 because if it's not on, it won't be circulating the ink back there. And remember, with the new circulation feature that the K13 has, that's actually going to help us have less clogs. I know that this seems like a lot at first, but I promise that with time, you will find a schedule that works for you. It's a huge investment, so I'd rather have you be overly cautious at the beginning. And as you get more comfortable with your printer, you'll be able to adjust and to see if you need to do this more often or if you can do it every few days instead of daily. And that wraps up our DTF printer maintenance tutorial. I know it's overwhelming, but just remember that with practice, it does get easier. Don't forget to save this video for when you're doing maintenance. And if you have any more questions about DTF printing or maintenance in general, make sure to drop them in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on ways you too can craft a business from home. See you in the next tutorial.